Now, let's get into the first and 10 segment. Oh, man. I definitely am so excited to talk about this. So, UFC 250. If you guys did not watch UFC 250, you missed out on probably one of the best main cards I've ever seen. It was insane. It was insane. So, for those of you that missed it, and you know, spoiler alert, because I'm going to talk about who won the fight. I would suggest that you pause the podcast or pause this video and then actually watch it for yourself, because what I'm about to say won't do it justice. The card was insane, and again, there's no audience fighting. They're fighting in a small warehouse. The UFC ring is a little smaller, but you couldn't tell. It was so. It was crazy. And let's go ahead and get into the fight. So, in the bantamweight division, and that is the 135-pound division, we had Eddie Wineland versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. And Sean O'Malley is undefeated. He went into the fight 11-0. So, he was undefeated and still a young fighter. So, Sean O'Malley, the hype train is real with him. He came out with the rainbow-colored hair, you know, looking like, I don't want to say looking like a clown, but he had the rainbow-colored hair and then had the braids and everything like that. So I don't know if he's trying to pull off some Tekashi 6ix9ine type mess to get more recognition, but it worked because, you know, when somebody shows up like that, people want to either see him get beat up or see what he got. And he delivered the goods. It was definitely the Sugar Show. And I have it right here, comment, the Sugar Show is real with Sean O'Malley. And he put Eddie Wineland down hard with the right hand. It at the time, it was KO of the night, and it was the first fight of the main card. And it was insane. Like, it was fairly even match. Both of them were filling each other out. And it took one mistake from Eddie Wineland, who's old, but former champion, and Sean O'Malley, like, cleared his clock. I mean, the dude was, like, stiff. And as soon as he landed the shot, as Eddie Wineland is falling, Sean O'Malley's already walking away. Like, he already knew it was over. He didn't try to follow up and finish the job. As soon as he hit him, he started walking away. The referee waved it off. It was insane. It was like one of those Steph Curry three-pointers from half court where he just throws it and then he's turning around and he's already celebrating the shots going in. Like, it was one of those. So my next thing is, who's next for Sean O'Malley? I mean, in the bantamweight division, there's some guys there. And we're going to get into the other bantamweight fight that was also, you know, a great fight and had two of the top 5 guys going at it. But who's next for Sean O'Malley? I think people would love to see him fight Henry Cejudo if Henry Cejudo came out of retirement. You know, I don't think Henry Cejudo's done. Sean O'Malley thinks that he retired because of him, or because, you know, he got his first girlfriend and, you know, she's taking all of his time. This is a quote from him. This is not from me. So this is directly from Sean O'Malley. Again, I'm a big fan of Sean O'Malley. The dude is box office. He has that he doesn't have that Conor McGregor feel to him, but the dude, you could tell, like, you want to watch him fight, and his fights are very entertaining. So him versus Henry Cejudo would be a tough matchup for both of them, because Sean O'Malley is 6 foot, lanky dude. You know, Henry Cejudo, shorter wrestler, could provide some problems for Sean O'Malley as well. I would love to see that fight, but, you know, we'll see what's next for Sean O'Malley. He says he's going to talk to his team. He's going to go back, talk to his team, see who's next, because, again, I'll talk about, since Henry Cejudo is retiring, he vacated the bantamweight title, and that will be fought for in UFC 251, which I will talk about later in the podcast. So the next matchup in the main card was Neil Magny versus Anthony Martin. This one was a closer fight. It was definitely closer than I thought. It was closer than what the judges seen. But it was a slow start for Magny, and right around that second round, you started to see him kick into that second gear, and was able to start picking up momentum. And by the end of the second round, Anthony Martin was like gassed. And I was just like, man, I don't know if he could last another round. And sure enough, in the third round, he gets dominated. I wouldn't be shocked. I didn't have a chance to check out the judges' scorecards, but if that wasn't a 10-8 round, I don't know what was. Anthony Martin was essentially on his bike the whole time, running, going backwards. And Neil Magny just put it on him, pressure all the time, big shots, big body shots. And Neil Magny earned that decision, ended up winning by decision. I thought it was still close. I thought even with the late performance in the second round by Neil Magny, I thought the second round was a toss-up still, because Anthony Martin was able to get him down in the second round, which counts for something. But Neil Magny in the third round was decisive. Again, 10-8 round, and I think that was what won him the fight. Again, I need to look at the judges' scorecards to see exactly how pivotal that third round was, and if it was a 10-8 round, because there were some judges that had Neil Magny at 30, so they thought that he won all 3 rounds. I didn't see that, but that's what the judges seen, and big ups to Neil Magny in the welterweight 170 division. These guys aren't going to be fighting for titles anytime soon, but they're filling up the card with good fights. So big ups to Dana on setting that up. And then now let's get into the other bantamweight fight. And this one, well, there's a couple, but bantamweight here. So you have the number 2 bantamweight in the world. You have Jermaine Stirling versus number 4 Cory Sanhagen. This one was supposed to be fight of the night. I thought going into UFC 250, I thought this one was going to be the fight of the night. Cory Sanhagen has been undefeated in the UFC, and Aljamain Sterling has been an absolute stud as of late. I believe he won 4, maybe 5 in a row I think it was 4 in a row coming into this fight, and then winning this fight made it 5, I believe. So Aljamain Sterling, as I just stated, won the fight. Came in the first round. So he came out, swinging a lot of pressure. Again, pressure is going to be key when talking about all of these fights. So pressure was there. Aljamain Sterling was able to get him to the ground and secure the submission rear naked choke in the first round. Essentially choked out Cory Sanhagen. I think he went unconscious for a second. The guy's about to go unconscious when he's kind of like waiting to tap to see how long he could hold it. The fight's over at that point because he's not trying to break the grip because it's deep under his chin. And he tapped, and then as soon as he tapped, like he went limp, and then Aljamain Sterling like threw him off, and he's face down, like just like limp, body's limp, not moving. I mean, it was insane. It was crazy. And Aljamain Sterling deserves a title shot. I believe he will get that title shot once the actual I don't know if it's an interim championship or if it's just the championship that they're fighting for in UFC 251, but he should get his shot. Dana White, I don't know, he might put Aljamain Sterling. I would want to see Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley. That would be a great fight to see. But I think Aljamain Sterling has earned his title shot to get the winner of whoever wins in UFC 251. And again, I'll talk about that, who will be fighting for that championship title later in this podcast. And then the co-main event, it's not Rafael. So Rafael Asano versus Cody Garbrandt. And this one, I think, was knockout of the night. Again, I talked about Sean O'Malley having knockout of the night, and maybe both of them had knockout of the night. But Cody Garbrandt's knockout of Rafael Asano, it was weird because, so for those of you that didn't see the fight, the fight ended in KO. Cody Garbrandt KO'd him at the end of the second round. So as the round is ticking down, the 10 seconds, you hear the ticks. And then you see them kind of like going at it. Cody Garbrandt's just kind of like eluding him, looking for a big shot. And then you just see him like duck down and his arms like almost like by his ankle, by his shin, and hits him with like a crazy like hook and catches him with 0 seconds left on the clock. And the referee was a little confused because he had called the round, But as soon as Rafael Asano hit the ground, he called the fight. Like, he was going to call the round, and then when he seen him get hit and was laying there, he ended up just calling the fight because the hit that Cody Garbrandt landed was definitely within the time limit. Like, he hit him as soon as it hit 0. Like, it wasn't an illegal shot. It wasn't a late shot. He hit him right when the round ended, and I think the referee did a good job in calling the fight because he was out. I mean, he was out. He couldn't even. So as soon as they picked him up and tried to put him on a stool, he was falling out of the stool. They had to sit him back on the ground. And I'm talking about Rafael Asano. So that one was the craziest knockout. I'm not gonna say I've ever seen, but it was definitely up there, top 10 for sure. So big ups to Cody Garbrandt because he went into this fight losing his last 3. So it's good momentum for him to. Or it's a good momentum starter for him to win this fight and kind of get back on that winning track and try to get back, his title because he's the former champion that lost it to Dillashaw. So big ups to Cody Garbrandt. Again, knockout of the night, him and Sean O'Malley. I still think the Cody Garbrandt knockout was better than Sean O'Malley's knockout. They're both still good. I'm sure you've seen them on Instagram or Twitter. If you haven't, I would prefer you watch the fight, but if not, if you just want to see the knockout, check that out. And then also the main event. This one was probably the I don't want to say the most boring fight because I think at least I knew already what was going to happen. So this one was versus Amanda Nunes, the Lioness, versus Felicia Spencer. And I seen Felicia Spencer fight Chris Cyborg, before she left UFC and went to Bellator. I've seen Felicia Spencer fight Cyborg, and it wasn't like a good match. Like, Cyborg, pretty much dominated her, aside from, getting hit with an elbow and having like a huge scar on her forehead. The fight was really one-sided. And when I seen that and I seen them put this fight together, I was like, well, she has no shot. And the fact that it was still Amanda Nunes was minus 600, that's still good money because we already know what's going to happen. Felicia Spencer is tough as nails, great grappler, but Amanda Nunes has developed her grappling game to where you're not going to just manhandle her and keep her on her back, keep her or control her on the ground. Amanda Nunes she's the GOAT for a reason. Striking, she's the best woman striker. Grappling, she's not the best grappler, but she has elevated her game in grappling to where you're not going to outclass her in grappling and just outpowering her. She has a certain frame, and it's insane that Felicia Spencer was able to actually get those things on her. But I mean, it was insane. So I'm very happy with what I seen from Amanda Nunes. Again, she's the GOAT. She won by decision, 5 rounds of complete beatdown domination. There was an actual better. I don't know where they bet it at, but it was $1 million bet on Amanda Nunes money line. I think it was at minus 650. So the person that bet $1 million ended up winning probably the easiest money they've ever gotten. But they bet $1 million, and I think they won $166,000 on this bet. They were talking about it, on this fight, and they were talking about it on the actual broadcast. So this person, easiest money they've ever gotten. So $1 million on Amanda Nunes, $166K return, not bad. We all seen that one coming. So let me know if you guys seen the UFC fight. Let me know which one was your favorite. Let me know which knockout you guys like better. Did you like the Cody Garbrandt knockout, or did you like the Sean O'Malley knockout better? Let me know in the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more fire sports takes. And for those of you who are on the go, make sure you subscribe to our full show, which airs every Thursday on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and a bunch more. Until then, I'm chucking it up, and I'll see you guys next time.